Hi everyone, this is your friend Navneet from Divinity World. It is a well saying that the constant companion of yours till your last breath is your shadow. Shadow leaves you when you leave this world. But there is one thing that still remains when you leave this world, and that is your legacy. Today's video is all about a brilliant legacy of one individual which has become a sort of motivation for all the youngsters and every common man around the world. But before that, when I mentioned the word shadow, let's hear it from this lovely kid about shadows from Robert Louis Stevenson.
I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more that I can see. He is very much like me, from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like a proper child, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller like an Indian rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there is none of him at all. One morning very early before the sun, I was up, and I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Thank you.
Thank you kid, thank you so much. So friends, you must have seen over here, today's topic is about Honorary President and our Bharat Ratna, late Mr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. A few words by A.P.J. Abdul Kalam for the people who wish to dare and set high standards for themselves. All birds find shelter during rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above clouds. For the people who crib about opportunities, the words of wisdom by A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have equal opportunities to develop our talents. A few words about dreams. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. And for the people who see failures as obstacles, his message was, don't read success stories. You will only get message. Read failure stories. You will get some ideas to success. And to all the backbenchers, the best brains of the nations may be found on the last benches of the classroom. But there is one piece of positivity by him that actually ignites the fire within us, and that is, if you fail, never give up, because FAIL means first attempt in learning. End is not an end. In fact, END means effort never dies. If you get no as an answer, remember, NO means next opportunity. So let's be positive. Such were the great and the brilliant ideas of this man that it continues to inspire us even when he's departed now. So when he departed for the holy abode, we still have his legacy. His legacy speaks for himself. For any professional in the corporate world or in a public sector enterprises, one of the most decorated CVs ever had been, or one of the most likely success stories that can ever be read, is that of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam was the 11th President of India. Among the many honors he won, like Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and eventually Bharat Ratna, were among very few. He was the third president to have been awarded Bharat Ratna before he actually became president, after Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan and Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was born into a Tamil Muslim family and he was based he belonged to Rameshwaram. His ancestors his ancestors were pretty rich. They made fortune by trading of goods between the Pamban and the Rameshwaram station. So there never used to be the Pamban bridge at that point of time. So they used to do lot of trading for that. But when the Pamban bridge was being built in the year 1914, the entire trade, the business they were into, like on the ferrying of the goods and the trading of the goods, they eventually died. And by the time Abdul Kalam was born in 1931, the entire family was in penury. So his father was both imam as well as owned a boat also, and he was an imam. He was very much spiritually inclined. Kalam's mother was a homemaker, and he had 4 siblings also. He was youngest among all the children in the home. During his schooling days, A.P.J. Abdul Kalam used to score very average grades, but his teachers used to describe him as a person who's very keen on learning and very hardworking. Kalam eventually went to University of Madras, in which he graduated in physics, and eventually went to Madras Institute of Technology to study aerospace engineering. There is one incident in his life which changed him altogether and made him the professional what he became later on. One fine day, the dean of the college, Madras Institute of Technology, was not happy with the progress of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's project work, and he gave him deadline of 3 days, failing which his scholarship will be revoked. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam eventually succeeded, and later on Dean personally met him and told him that he deliberately gave him deadline, put him in a pressure. So he was a person who was very much professional in his approach. It's not just that he got success every time. You'll be surprised to know that he wanted to become an IAF fighter in the Indian Air Force and stood 9th position out of the total qualification which was required, that of 8 people. So he missed out on becoming a pilot. Eventually he found a job in Defense Research and Development Organization, and he started his work. That was somewhere in the year 1960. He built a small hovercraft to start with, but eventually he was not very happy with the kind of profile that he was having in his organization. And somewhere in the year 1965, he started working independently on building rockets, the projects on rockets. He was later transferred to Indian Space Research Organization in 1969, and he was working under the aegis of great Vikram Sarabhai. He got into many projects, and he was also called to the Operation Smiling Buddha, which was India's first nuclear test. He got a huge support of then Prime Minister Ms. Indira Gandhi onto the development of various missile programs. Although the Union Cabinet was against it, but Indira Gandhi used her discretionary powers to fund his project. He was instrumental, and he was a director of launching SLV and Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle program, which helped India place satellite called Rohini in the year 1980. He eventually was Chief Scientific Advisor to the Prime Minister and Defense Secretary for all the matters related to the missile program. The project that he started eventually started bearing fruits in the form of Agni missiles and Prithvi missiles, which firmly put India into the forefront of the august company of superpowers. But icing on cake was the Pokhran test of 1999. That was his ultimate achievement. He was unanimous choice for becoming the President of India, in which both the ruling party as well as the opposition party favored him to become the president. It was just a lopsided or one-sided victory, but the best part was about to begin. In his first speech in the parliament, he mentioned India to be united. After his presidency, he moved on to his passion, that is for the teaching and he delivered lectures across many university and eminent institutions like Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad, Indian Institute of Management Indore, Banaras Hindu University. His last assignment was with Indian Institute of Information Technology in Hyderabad. As it happens with many great people around the world, he took his last breath while delivering a lecture at Indian Institute of Management Shillong. 5 minutes into the lecture, he complained of chest pain, and apparently because of the cardiac arrest, he was rushed to hospital where he was put on a ventilator in ICU, but he was dead by the time. His legacy lives on. He was a devout Muslim. He used to recite namaz, but at the same point of time, he was a kind of a person who believed in syncretism. Syncretism is basically finding out the best qualities of all the cultures and imbibing them in your day-to-day routine. He found his ultimate guru in Param Guru of the Swami Narayan sect. One incident actually influenced his entire thinking. In year 2002, there was a grave terrorist attack on the Akshardham complex in Gujarat. And when this guru visited the complex, he was sprinkling the holy water on the places where people got killed. He also sprinkled water on which the terrorists were also found. So with that belief that all human soul is sacred. So this had a profound impact on A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. Apart from reciting verses from Quran, he used to read Gita, he used to listen to Carnatic music, and he was a very simple man. He was a bachelor throughout his life. He used to send huge sum of money to his siblings. He was very well connected with his siblings. By the time of his death, his only possessions were a laptop, a CD player, a veena, musical instrument. That's were his only possessions. All his will and all his property was given to his elder brother. Such was the simple life of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. And it has a message for all of us that you need not find extraordinary people around you. You just need to find out the extraordinariness in every ordinary men or women you see around yourself. I hope you found this video to be quite entertaining as well as very informative. Thank you very much, my dear friends. This is your friend Navneet. Keep on watching our videos.